Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. This is part of our AI in 30 Minutes series, and this session is AI prompting for beginners. A little bit of housekeeping. This is a webinar style meeting, so we ask if you have any comments that you'd like to share with each other, you can put those in the chat box. If you have any questions, we ask that you put them in the Q&A box. That way, Delphi and I can check them at the end of the meeting. And we will send the slides and the recordings to everyone, so no need to take a bunch of notes. And if you want captions turned on, you can click the Show Captions icon on the toolbar. A little bit about ourselves. My name is Debbie Beaudry. I'm the Director of Academic Technology. Delphi and I are from the Digital Futures Institute, or DFI, which is a department within Teachers College at Columbia University. Delphi?
Yes, and my name is Delcian Wright. I am a Teachers College graduate and a DFI associate.
Thanks, Delphi. So a bit about our agenda. First, we will start about what is a prompt and a little bit about what is AI in general. Then we'll talk about the different types of prompts for different purposes, tips for writing prompts, and then we'll give you some examples in action. Just so that you know, the images that are in this presentation were created by different AI tools. For example, this one was created by a tool called Midjourney. We include the tool that we used and the prompt as well. So we entered male and female college students using text generative AI to do their homework, and this is what it created. So a little bit of a disclaimer. Teachers College has a rigorous review process for any technology that we adopt for use. Right now, some of the tools that we'll be showing you, like Midjourney that I just showed you, they have not been through this process or they've been through the process and they haven't met all of the requirements for privacy, security, and accessibility. So this is not an endorsement of any of them, but we take a little bit of a risk to test these out so that everybody can be aware of what's going on in the space. So we are going to focus mostly on AI text generator tools. And some of the popular ones are Gemini, which is created by Google. We also have ChatGPT, which is owned by a company called OpenAI. And Microsoft was a very heavy investor in that. And Claude is owned by a company called Anthropic. So there are many more of them out there. These are probably the most popular ones that we have now. They all have free and paid versions. So you'll find that the free versions do fine most of the time. The paid versions are more powerful. They give you better responses, and you can submit more. You can use more prompts in a day with the paid versions. So we'll start out with what is a prompt, Delphi?
So what is a prompt? So yes, a prompt is a request. It's an input that you create to the artificial intelligence model, the model being ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude, and it will generate a specific response. The prompts can be simple questions, they can be keywords, they can be complex entries such as instructions, creative writing, code snippets, things like that. The quality and the relevance of the output that you receive is directly influenced by the prompt.
So I know some of you have been to some of these sessions before, and I do this same little 90-second clip about how AI tools work. And I think it's important to understand and have that baseline knowledge as we talk about prompts. So you enter prompts, which we'll be showing you in a minute. You use the way that you speak, natural language. So you don't need to use any code. And these are called large language models, or LLMs. So I always forget. I have to make sure that when I share my screen that I am sharing the sound so that you can hear that too. There we go. All righty. These AI systems are called large language models, or LLMs. You might be wondering how an LLM can understand and respond in such a human-like way. Let's look at how LLMs are built. It all starts with the training data. Developers feed the model a massive database of information scraped from all over the internet, everything from Wikipedia to social media posts to published research to transcripts from podcasts and YouTube videos. It's like a gigantic knowledge base for the AI to learn from. During the training process, the model doesn't just memorize all that data. It actually learns patterns of how humans write and communicate, things like common word pairings and sentence structures. When you give the LLM a prompt, it doesn't just look up a pre-written response. It uses those learned patterns to generate a brand new, relevant response from scratch. Based on its training, it predicts a response. The output tends to sound fluid and natural. It's not rigidly scripted, but it does gravitate toward commonly used words and phrases. When prompted for more creative versions of a response, the model can adjust its response based on the training process. It doesn't follow strict rules. Instead, it uses probability to give you a more unique response. Okay, so a big part of using AI, large language models, is the training data that we talked about, that it's scraping the internet, and then the prompt. All of those AI tools that I showed you use different models. The base training has been different. The algorithms that they use are different. So your responses will be different. Oh, Dulcie.
So there are different types of AI prompts for different purposes. Those purposes might be to write something from scratch, as we showed, to revise writing, something that you've written already and you want revisioned, to summarize text. If you've taken notes at a meeting and you'd like to put all of those notes into a prompt, it will summarize it for you. Also, you might want to create or modify or even describe images. You can use specific prompts to analyze data, prompts that will create graphs, and prompts that will actually create, modify, or even summarize video and audio. So, talking about prompts, let's just look at some basic prompts. A basic prompt is just asking it a question. In this case, what were the causes of the American Revolution? You will get back a response that will give you, that will be that will have been created based on this particular prompt. The next one, give instructions. Very basic, nothing, nothing. It doesn't sound like anything big, but you will get information that you created. So create a lesson plan about the water cycle. Very simple prompt in this particular case.
Okay, so we're going to give you some tips to help you get beyond the basics. So you can write your prompts. You can just write a simple question. You can give it some basic instructions to do, and you can keep going back and forth with it. But in order to help you get the best response out of the AI, here are 5 tips for prompt writing. Dulcie?
So the first tip that we have here is to be clear and specific. So instead of writing something very simple, like tell me about online learning, you can try something a little bit more, summarize the major impacts of online learning to higher education in under 200 words. And then you can also add something to make sure the tone that the response gives you is something that you want. So in this case, use enthusiastic and optimistic language. The second tip we have is to specify the format of your response. So instead of doing something basic like write about AI ethics, in this case, you're going to be a little bit more specific and you're going to say in 500 words or less, provide a bullet point summary of 5 ethical concerns in AI with a short explanation of each. So you will get a bulleted summary because that's what you asked for. in your prompt. The third tip we have is to identify the role, not only the role of both of AI and the audience, very important. So here we have summarized this paper. Okay, you put all the information in for the paper, but what you would get better results from and newer results from if you try, you are an academic researcher. Summarize this research paper in 3 paragraphs, highlighting the research question, the methodology, and the key findings in language that's appropriate for a graduate student. So in this paper, in this particular instance, your prompt is saying that your AI is an academic researcher and the audience are graduate students.
Okay, we have 2 more, and then we're going to demonstrate some of these for you. So you can think about working with AI as having a conversation with the AI. So you can do this iterative process where you're going back and forth, where you type in your prompt, but then you can respond to it and provide it with feedback. You can give it thumbs up, thumbs down. You could say something like, this isn't what I was looking for. This is too long, or this is too casual, the language. You can also refine the response if you want something, it's close to what you want, and then you can be very specific about how you want it to change, and it will rewrite the response. You could dig deeper. You can ask for the 5 causes of the American Revolution, and then when it comes up, you could say, tell me more about taxation without representation. You can also change direction. You look at it, you read the response, and you're like, okay, that is what I told the AI to respond, but it isn't what I was looking for. So you can take a different path with that. All right, so some examples. Delcy, you want to read it, and then I will show everybody how to. Oh, I'm sorry. Prompting tip number 4. Oh, this is an example. I'm sorry, it took me a second here. So this is an example. I found a great article about recycling in New York City, and I wanted to post it to Blue Sky with a link to the article. So my first prompt said, I want to post to Blue Sky the link about this article. Can you come up with a catchy post title for me? And the first response was that it came up with, ever wonder if that yogurt cup is really recyclable? Put in the little emoji for me. This article breaks down New York recycling rules, and then hashtags. So I liked it, but I thought everybody knows you can recycle a yogurt cup. The thing that I found interesting in the article was that so many paper products you could recycle in New York City. So for my second prompt, I said, can you come up with a different opening line about recycling some sort of paper products? That was the most surprising to me. So that is it. Then I was going back and forth with it, and it came up with a much better response. The last one is always check the AI's response. So it's getting its training data from the internet. We know there's lots of inaccuracies, biases that are out there. The algorithm, it's doing prediction. It's not like looking up the answer for you. So you always have to check the accuracy of the content. You need to look up citations. You can ask it to give you citations, and you'll get these citations that are MLA, APA format. But then when you look them up, those citations don't actually exist. Check all the links. Sometimes it gives you a link to a website. You need to click on that link. Delcy and I have had 2 and 3 happen to us a number of times. You click on the link and it takes you to a website that doesn't exist. You have to check for biases. This is harder, that you always want to check for that, not so obvious as a broken link. And you should also check the math. If you're asking it to do some calculations for you, you should be able to do that yourself to be able to check it. Okay, let me just see. Okay, I just want to see, Delcy, we have a question in the Q&A. So can I ask AI to simply revise a writing prompt after submitting the original one? Yes, you can ask AI, you can prompt AI to write you a prompt if that's the question that you're asking. if you don't get a response that you're looking for, you can ask it, how can I improve the prompt?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to show you some examples. This is going to be a prompt for faculty that may want to create an assignment. And this is done in Gemini. So you're an expert in educational technology and a master faculty member. So this is identifying the role of AI. Create an assignment for graduate students, that's identifying the role of the audience, for a research project that could be multimodal. The objective is for the students to understand the research process. So that's clear and specific. This should include a few sentences for description and a numbered list of the criteria for grading. That's very specific what the response format should be. And the tone to be clear and encouraging students to think outside the box. That's specifying the tone.
Okay.
So let's see what we get.
Yeah, so let me, oops. Alrighty, I am going to go, for this, we will use Gemini because Gemini is available for TC faculty and staff to use. And if I want to get to it, I can click here. If I'm a TC faculty or staff member, I can go here and click Gemini and get the Sparkle. Or if you're using your personal Google account, you can go to google.gemini.com. So let me go. All right, I am going to take this one that Delcy just read for us. Now, the parts that are in orange, we just added that. You don't need that in your prompt. We just did it to demonstrate the different parts of a prompt, but it's not going to change the results that we get here. So I enter the prompt and then give it a minute. And then now I have my sample, an assignment that it's come up with for multimodal landscape and education. It's got the grading criteria. And so from here, I can copy and paste this into a Google Doc and make it more my own, or I could go back to the prompt and write another prompt about, well, make the finding and analysis 30% of the grade or something. So I can work it to refine it to have it be more like what I'm looking for. Okay, let's look at the next one, Delcy.
So the next one that we have would be for students. This would be to brainstorm an idea. So the prompt would be, again in Gemini, you are a graduate student in education, that's identifying the role of AI, who has an interest in robotics for early elementary students with limited resources. You need to write a research paper that is related to your interests, that is 10 pages long and includes 10 references from scholarly journals. So that's clear and specific. Can you provide me with 5 ideas for the research topic that meet that criteria? That's that specifies the format that you want your response to be in.
Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'll go back to Gemini. So now I can go new chat. And these prompts work whether you're using Gemini, ChatGPT, or Claude, or any of the others that are out there. So let me paste this in here. So we asked it for, here we go. Oh, edit plan, you are a research. Okay, let me see. Okay. So research the impact of robotics kids, investigate the feasibility. So it came up with 5 possible topics that you could use. I don't know if this edit research plan, I'll be honest with you, these products change all the time. So you type in the same prompt and you get a different answer every time. So let's just do the next one here. Alrighty.
Okay, this is to revise writing, and this will be revising an email. So you're an experienced and supportive manager. That's the role of AI. Revise the text of an email I will provide for someone who is your employee. That's specifying the response format. The employee is someone who is new and may not have experience in managing projects. Okay, that's you identifying the audience. The new version of the email should be professional and not accusatory. So that's clear and specific, including the tone.
Okay, so this is actually something I struggle with when I write emails. In general, they tend to be too long. And also the tone, like if I'm upset and I'm writing it, I need the AI's help to tone it down for me a little. So I'm going to put that in there and see what it comes up with. So now it has, I wanted to check on the progress that you were assigned to keep track. If you are facing any challenges or have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. We can discuss, and I'm happy to offer guidance or resources that might be helpful. So a nice positive ending to it, and it's shorter than what I had written originally. So, okay.
Okay, now this one requires a little bit more detail. I think we actually used AI to help us put this one together. This is quizzing yourself for, something you may want to learn and make sure you learn it well. So you're an expert in environmental issues. That's the identity of AI. Quiz me about facts related to composting as if I'm a fifth grader. That's the audience. The quiz will be 5 multiple choice questions, clear and specific. Ask me the first question and wait for my answer. If after I respond, tell me if I'm correct or incorrect. If I am incorrect, provide a brief explanation and then automatically ask the next question without waiting for me to ask. Continue this pattern until all 5 questions are complete. That is a very specific response format. So let's see what we get.
Yeah. So this one did take a while for me to come up with, and I did use AI to help me write the prompt. And I thought it was worth the time so that I could put different topics in there. So once you've developed a prompt that you like, you can use it again and again. And instead of next time saying environmental issues, you could pick a different topic. So let's try this, and then you can see what this looks like. Okay, so here we have it. All right, future environmental champion. I guess that's how you talk to a fifth grader. Which of these things is generally best to put in your compost bin? I will say leftover fruit and leftover fruit and vegetable scraps. So I'll put in a B, and then that's correct. And it gave me Y. And now the next question. What do we call the dark crumbly material at the end result of composting? Ooh, it's humus. So humus, hummus. You eat hummus. I don't know. So I'll do this one wrong. The third question, which of these things do composting worms, if you have them, like to eat the most? So shiny metal is incorrect. So I'm going to type that in and then see. Oops, that's incorrect. And it tells me why, and it tells me the correct answer. So you can do this. You can do this also with this Quiz Me. You can do it with uploading a PDF, a file, or a reading that you were supposed to have done, and ask it to quiz you on it based off of the reading. So let me just, okay, we're going to check the Q&A, Delcy, and see. Oh, okay. I already answered that. I don't see any more questions here, so let's go on. Okay, now if you want some suggestions, some ideas to look at, there is a company that is called AI for Education, and they actually come up with some sample prompts for students, for special education, different for professional development, and you can click on them. Let's say for donor thank you letter. And it gives you the prompt, the example of the prompt, and they leave in these brackets, and that's where you put your mission and vision of your organization, and any related documents that it refers to. So they give you these as like a skeleton, almost an outline, so that you can use them, and then you can refine them to whatever works best for you. So we thought that was a good library. of that. We'll share these slides with you afterwards so you can try them out. So I'm just looking at time. We have time, Chelsea. So we talked a lot about prompts for writing, but in the 5 minutes we have left and there's no questions, I'll just show you creating an image because this is a fun one. So let's say create a photorealistic image where I'm specifying the format of the response of a cat with a pink hat using a laptop in a coffee shop. So that's very clear and specific. Let me copy this and I will go to Gemini and then I will enter this in here. And then let's see what happens. So it's creating the image for me. I love to use AI to create images for presentations. It just I have a hard time. Oh, there we go. Oh boy, that's a chubby little cat there.
With a pink hat.
With the pink hat. So let's see. Okay, I haven't tried this, so we're going here. In this image, make the cat's hat yellow. Let's see what happens. A lot of times when you do the imaging, you don't get the same image again. So you have to use a more robust image editing tool like Firefly. But let's see what it comes up with. I'm having a hard time creating a yellow hat, I guess. Yeah, okay.
A new image.
Yeah, it is a new image. So even though I said in this image, make the cat's hat yellow, it generated a completely new one. Kind of similar cat, but I'd have to do the whole prompt over again and change the pink to yellow in there. So that is creating an image. That's a prompt for creating an image. Alrighty. Let's see. One more question. Yep. Ooh, Chelsea, this is a good question. Not part of Columbia, but I'm wondering if there'll be any more additional webinars open to the public. Yes, we do. That's leads us to our next slide here.
Upcoming DFI events, yes.
There we go.
So far for the rest of the semester. So we have hours today. There is one that it's going on also, but it's going on until 1:30. Later on this afternoon, we have the Multimodal Scholarship Showcase from 5 to 7 p.m. And I believe that's in Russell on the 4th floor. April 21st, we have the Youth Participatory Action Research in your classroom. It's a book launch and a workshop that will happen on the 21st from 6:30 to 8 p.m. And May 2nd is Media Fest 2025. That will be from 4 to 6 p.m. Also Russell, I believe that will be 4th floor Russell Hall.
So we will be posting more events we do for the webinars. We'll be taking a bit of a pause because it's getting to be toward the end of the semester and convocation. But come June, we will start again. And we also, if anybody's interested, on our DFI website, we have AI in Education, and we have our AI in 30 Minutes Beginner Series. If you go here, for the ones that have already happened, some of them, we have a recording, so you can watch the recording for that. All righty. Let's just see, last question. All righty, we answered that. Okay. I think we're all set. Thank you, everyone, for attending.
Thank you so much.